The views and opinions expressed by a participant on this program do not necessarily reflect or represent the views or opinions of West Liberty University or WLU-TV 14.
Welcome into Hilltopper Sports Weekly, Women's Basketball Edition. I am Todd Ullom, joined as always by head coach Kyle Cooper. Coach, the past two games last week, the Toppers went 1-1, going to Urbana and falling to the Blue Knights. They also came home and beat a very good Notre Dame team, so it was an up and down week, but it ended on a good note.
Yeah, I think that's again what we want to view as it was up and down, and it you hated to see how we played in the Urbana game, despite it ending up being kind of close and it being a roller coaster. But Notre Dame, we came out, we played really, really well and showed out well at home, and that's what we want to do.
Well, let's get to the highlights of that first game against Urbana from last week. We go to the highlights from the Grimes Center at Urbana University. This starts out with Marissa Brown starting the scoring for everyone, getting the first bucket of the game, 2-0 West Liberty. We go to McKenna Shives, gets the lead back with the bucket, and one. Again, you see Marissa getting the ball back after getting knocked out of her hands. McKenna Shives, again, makes this bucket and gets the lead back 9-8. I'm sorry, this is Audrey Tingle with the bucket, but a good offensive rebound for the point guard.
Yeah, and Audrey's just nonstop out there. There's times we actually have to talk to Audrey about going too hard at times because she's overworking.
Now the Toppers again with the ball. This is Olivia Belknap, a nice pass from Marissa Brown on the low block.
Yeah, and Olivia's really starting to come on, and I'm sure we'll see more of it from Notre Dame game. But with her, it's just playing consistent on both ends and being locked in and confident. But she can be a real player when she's engaged, that's for sure.
Now we see Audrey Tingle driving again. We saw her make a bucket the last time. This time a nice pass when she gets double-teamed. Marissa Brown gets the finish. That would cut the lead down to 6 for the Lady Toppers. And off a Hudson missed free throw, you see Grace Fielder with a nice pass from Belknap on the baseline in transition.
It's been a huge lift for us to get Grace going this year, and she looks like a different player, but she's just using her athleticism, and that's something that's so extreme for her because she is one of the most athletic kids in the league.
This is Marissa Brown again on the low block, getting double teamed. She feels it, spins to the middle, and makes it 42-33. Urbana still led. We go to the second half. In the third quarter, Brandy Beater cuts the lead to 9, 50-41 with this three-point shot.
Yeah, and we just kept cutting it in the second half, and you end up beating them in the second half. But you got to remember, it's a game of 4 quarters, and we did not stay engaged for 4, and that's what came out as an issue for us.
Shives hit the 3. Then it's Johnny Olkowski's turn. Another assist from Marissa Brown on the low block. It made it 58-51 in favor of Urbana. The Toppers cut the lead down to 6. But Urbana would pour it on in the fourth quarter. West Liberty's Olkowski would hit a 3-point shot. The scores would skyrocket here in the fourth. This one made it 72-59.
Yeah, and the fourth quarter was just, it was one of those things where both teams just kept trading buckets. No matter how many times we felt like we were going to get in a rhythm, they just kept coming at us, and they had one of their seniors have a special day, so that's great for her, not so good for us.
You see Marissa Brown with a nice inbound pass, receiving, and going with a reverse layup.
Yeah, in that game, again, another great performance for Marissa, another double-double, and we didn't get to celebrate it the way we would have liked to.
Stephanie Davis for Urbana had a huge night, almost a triple-double, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Sylvia Hudson with 14 points as well. We look at some of the team stats in this game. The Toppers shooting 43%. Urbana just shot the lights out from the floor, 57%, 80% from the free throw line, 12 of 15 there. And again, 11 steals, 11 assists for Urbana, but the Toppers, 16 assists on 30 made shots.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Urbana's stats, the fact that they had 11 assists on 38 makes tells the story of the game for them. They did a great job of executing their stuff, which gives them isolations, and we did not do a good job of making them uncomfortable. They were able to do whatever they wanted offensively for the duration of the game.
Urbana has been playing extremely well this season, so it just goes right in line with the way this Lady Toppers beginning of the season has gone, always facing some tough competition. That would not end as the Lady Toppers would return home to play against Notre Dame College. That was this past Saturday. It starts with Brandy Beater, a 3-point shot. This would start the scoring for West Liberty, 3-0 early on for the Lady Toppers.
Yeah, and we really came out engaged in this game, and I think it was a testament to the conversations we had and the way we practiced coming off of that tough one at Urbana. Our kids were very into it, and it showed early.
Beater gave a nice assist here to Shives in transition. This was her first of 3 3-pointers in the first quarter. Made it 8-2 West Liberty. Marissa Brown, nice pass received from Johnny Olkowski. She beat 2 defenders, made it 15-8 Lady Toppers.
Yeah, we've got to continue to give Marissa touches almost every time down the court because it's forcing defenses to really change how they want to play us.
Shives hitting a 3 there gives the Lady Toppers their largest lead of the first quarter at 10. The score was 20-10. Lady Toppers at that point, we move to the second quarter. Ball movement here by the Lady Toppers. Brown eventually gets the bucket.
And it's, again, just how dangerous we can be. When you start to see us moving the basketball this way and the fact that we put, at a given time, 4 shooters around a dominant post player, we're very hard to guard if we're moving it.
And you can see it easily on that play. McKenna Shives again with another 3. This made it 33-20 West Liberty.
Yeah, and that was probably, I think, our biggest lead of the first half, but it just came off of constant ball movement, and McKenna really had a special half, making 6 threes in the first half.
And this would be a momentum changer here in this game as Notre Dame really picked up the momentum after McKenna Shives got an elbow to the face. No call was made. You see her get cleaned up there by athletic trainer Jason Coleman. It's not easy to run around with gauze stuck up your nose, but McKenna Shives stayed in the game. Little known fact, she is a hockey player, so she stayed in there. Olivia Belknap hits a 3-point shot. That made it 38-27. Notre Dame took a 1-point lead into halftime, 42-43. We move to the third quarter. Brandy Beater off the inbound pass makes it 46-45. The Toppers would never give up the lead of the rest of the game.
Yeah, and this was a great moment for us as far as a team because we did see adversity in the second quarter late, probably the last 4.5 minutes, and our team was able to just bounce back, stay together, push through adversity, and show what we're capable of doing. And right now you're seeing a great steal by Johnny Olkowski. She really got back to using her mind and seeing the game the way that she does.
Johnny played a great game. She showed up on the stat sheet, but it was more than just that for Johnny in this game. Grace Fodor with a good drive made it a 7-point lead for the Lady Toppers, 59-52.
Much like Urbana, just Grace using her God-given athleticism and getting a straight-line drive again for us.
This is going to be a nice pass from Brandy Beater. Lobs it over to Marissa Brown, and she gets the nice finish as well.
Yeah, and that's just, again, getting back to we got to get her touches almost every time down because it forces the help. And if she doesn't score quickly, it's the kick out and the extra pass.
Brandy Beater will pick up another assist here as Belknap hits it from the corner. This one would give the Toppers a 6-point lead, 71-65.
You know, Olivia gave us an unbelievable lift in this game, and the thing that, a lot of people don't see is we're focusing so much on the defensive end, and she brought it on that end too, which she's beyond capable of doing.
Johnny Olkowski hitting an NBA-style 3, made it 76-71, then steals the ball, gets it back to Beater for a fast break bucket, 78-71. It's quite a good sequence there for Johnny Olkowski.
Yeah, again, Johnny just doing things, seeing the game so well. She's like having a coach out there, and when she's engaged, it gives us a tremendous lift.
This bucket by Marissa Brown gave the Toppers a 10-point lead again, 83-73. A nice baseline drive for her. Olkowski, it's not a replay. Another NBA deep 3, 92-80. The final score would be 98-94. West Liberty would pick up a victory against a very good Notre Dame Falcons team. Marissa Brown would finish with 26 points, 11 rebounds. She was 11 of 18 from the field. McKenna Shives, 6 3-pointers, 21 points. Not a bad game for the Lady Toppers in this one, a tough one, but they come out with a big victory.
Yeah, it was a great victory for us because Notre Dame's been playing so well, and they do have so many weapons of their own. So for us to play better defensively, I mean, you see a high-scoring game and think there was no defense played at all. There was a lot of defense played by both teams, and that was absolutely huge for us to see us get some stops and some consecutive stops, and just to see the stat sheet fill up as a team. It was a great team win, and we celebrated it for 2 days and enjoyed it, but then it was back to business.
Speaking of the stat sheet, let's take a look at the stats from this game. The Toppers shot 50% from the floor, 46% from behind the arc. Great shooting percentage as they went 12 for 26 for three-point land. Almost 80% from the free throw line. 41 rebounds in this ballgame, 12 of those offensive. And they got 7 steals, 24 assists on 34 shots made.
Yeah, and that's who we are. That's what we want to do as a program. We want to share the ball and score off of the pass more than the dribble. And for us, it's so much of the in-out game using Marissa and then sharing it as guards play. But our players, I think, saw and started believing more than they did before that we can be special when we share the basketball and create for one another, not just ourselves.
Well, the Lady Toppers looked extremely dangerous this past Saturday against Notre Dame College. Coming up, though, for the Lady Toppers, it'll be a game against Shepherd this Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. You can watch that game on the West Liberty, or listen to that game on the West Liberty Sports Network. We will have an audio-only broadcast for you. Also, this upcoming Saturday, the Lady Toppers take on Fairmont State at home. There you see Shepherd, the 6th at 5:30 at the Butcher Center. Then Fairmont State this Saturday, December 9th at 5:30. Again, that's a 5:30 start on Saturday at the ASRC. There's December graduation at the ASRC that day as well, so the time is pushed back to 5:30. But big rivalry coming up between Fairmont State and West Liberty. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Coming up after the break, we will talk about the past two games and some of the players for the Lady Toppers that got them their victory against Notre Dame College. Welcome back to Hilltopper Sports Weekly Women's Basketball Edition. Coach, we took a look at some of the highlights from Urbana and Notre Dame in the last segment. We're going to look a little bit more in depth at some of the players these past two games between Marissa Brown, Johnny Olkowski, Brandy Beater, McKenna Shives, Audrey Tingle as well in the starting lineup. A little bit banged up. Bumps and bruises here for everybody at this point in the season already. And Olivia Belknap coming off the bench as well, playing some great minutes and quality minutes as well for the Toppers.
Yeah, we're getting really good balance, and that's what we want. And getting a lift from our bench is so important, and we need to continue to have that coming from Olivia, Jackie, Grace, and Sammy.
And it's clear to watch in these games, especially you see Marissa Brown there against Urbana. And we talked about the assists per game as well compared to the shots made. It's just the way the Lady Toppers play. And when they are on, it is fun to watch. You saw it a lot against Mercyhurst, especially against Notre Dame. The ball sharing just done so good so far this season. Marissa Brown is averaging 24 points just these past two games. Averaging 24 points these past two games, 48 in the past two games. Brandy Beater, 38 points in the past two games. McKenna Shives, 33 points in the past two games. So it's not just filling the bucket with the ball either. They're doing things away from the ball. You see there Johnny Olkowski being able to read that play and getting the steal.
Yeah, and again, we have some kids that can really fill it up, and we do need to share the basketball. And when we do, we're pretty special, and it's a fun brand of basketball. I think there's direct correlation. When you see our assists numbers high, you're going to see wins. That's just who we are. But it is nice to see some defense being played here in the Notre Dame game, and to see our kids get after it on both ends.
And these are some very good competition. Again, like we said before, for the Lady Toppers early in this season. Urbana was 3-1 in conference in this right now. Notre Dame also 3-1 in the conference. The Lady Toppers giving them their only loss in conference play. You see Marissa Brown there the past two games, as we said, averaging 24 points. She's got 4 blocks, 4 assists. We saw a few of those in the highlight package. 24 rebounds as well in the past two games for Marissa.
Yeah, and with Marissa, it's just, again, it's a testament to what we talked about in the last show. She's changed who she is. She is more engaged. She's up and down the court a lot, flying around. She's in much better shape, and she's just really bought in, and it's been great to see because this is what we knew she was capable of, and I think she's one of the premier posts in our league right now.
And then we go to Johnny Olkowski. She's another player who she can fill up the score sheet. We've seen her do that before in the past. She's done it this year as well, but she's more than that. You can see kind of a senior leadership, or even though she might not be a total senior just yet, she's just a junior, but she feels like she's been a senior, been around here for 10 years, it feels like already. Yep. Johnny doing very well from the free throw line, 40% from behind the arc as well, 5 rebounds, 8 assists in the past two games as well for Johnny. But so far this season, it seems like she's been one of the most intangible type of players for the Lady Toppers.
Yeah, and people see scoring and see stats and so on and think that's our MVP, that's our best player. We need Johnny to play well for us to go. She kind of makes us go behind the scenes. It's who she is. She's kind of that coach's dream kid from having that floor leader for you. And when she's doing the little things, it usually carries over to the rest of the team for us.
Yeah, we go to another one, kind of her partner in crime sometimes, McKenna Shives. She's averaging 16.5 points the past 2 games, almost 500% from behind the three-point line. She took that elbow to the face in the game against Notre Dame and kept on playing. Just tough as nails type of player. McKenna Shives only 5'5", but she plays like she's 6'5".
Yeah, she does. She's got a lot of heart, and she's a true competitor, and she can take that to the extreme sometimes, and she'll be the first one to tell you that. But she's an unbelievable person and a great player, and she is a good teammate that sometimes people don't get to see. But for McKenna, her change has been that she is trying harder on the defensive end, but most importantly, she's taking better shots. You see those percentages the last 2 games for her. That comes from quality shots. When she's set foot down, ready to launch, it's good for us. And she's getting better at that and more consistent at that.
You talked about McKenna being a great teammate. Not surprising last game when she was on the bench after taking an elbow to the face. You saw her jumping up and down for her teammates on the bench. She is all in for her teammates. Brandy Beater, another one, averaging 19 points these past 2 games. She had 5 assists, 12 rebounds, shooting 81% from the floor, 30% from behind the arc. So Brandy Beater, another one of those kind of players that you look to fill the stat sheet a little bit, but also has some intangibles. She has the away from the ball skills as well.
Yeah, and Brandy's really worked on her game. I mean, I think you've seen it elevate. We saw glimpses of it last year, but she's healthier this year. I think Brandy is a big-time player, and I think she doesn't get enough recognition, not only within the league, but within the region. I think she can flat-out play. And those numbers were pretty good, and that was in 2 games that she didn't shoot the 3 that well. You know, you think about Brandy, and one of the things she's done a great job of is getting that 40% clip or higher from the three-point line. So she puts up those kind of numbers with an off shooting 2 games. I think that shows what she's capable of. And it's another player that when she is focused, she is really, really good.
Yeah, and you saw in the past 2 games as well when there were times her shot wasn't available or she drove and she had to turn around, she was able to find somebody and get an assist. So it's a total team game for Brandy Beater and the rest of the girls. Also, Olivia Belknap, as a redshirt freshman, she only played a handful of games last year, so this is basically her first year. Averaged 9 points over these past 2 games, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, but she shot 50% from behind the arc, 60% from the floor for Liv.
Yeah, and Olivia is another player that gives us a great lift off of the bench, and she'd probably start for a lot of teams, and once we get her more and more consistent, her minutes are going to go up for us. We need that lift coming off the bench because we can't expect to get the kind of numbers we had on Saturday every game from our starting 5, and the hope is that our brand of basketball allows different people to be successful, but we need a lift and a spark from the bench, and Olivia gave us that, and I'm hoping she can continue to do that because that will elevate and we'll continue to see more success if she can give us that.
Yeah, and these are these kind of things that just continue to roll for teams. Usually when you see the top-tier players playing really well, it trickles on down. You see the sixth man and Liv Belknap and players like her, Jackie Kitts, Grace Fodor, even Sam Hall come into the game. All that kind of trickles down. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody plays well, and it's starting to happen for the Lady Toppers. You saw that against the Notre Dame Falcons. So it's impressive to watch, and it's great to see.
Yeah, and I think it is fun to watch. And, again, that score – very high scoring for both teams. You know, we'd love to see us not give up that kind of points, but it's a weird last 2 or 3 minutes, so that inflates it a little bit for both teams. But it is a fun brand of basketball, and I hope people are starting to see how passionate this team can be for not only the game, but for one another. Right. And when you see that, basketball is more fun to watch, more fun to play.
Oh, that is definitely the truth. The Lady Toppers' next game will be against Shepherd at the Butcher Center Wednesday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. You can watch that on Comcast Channel 14. Let me correct myself. Listen to that on Comcast Channel 14 at WLTVonline.com. It'll be an audio-only broadcast for myself and Kyle Patrick, so please tune in to listen to the Lady Toppers take on the Lady Rams this coming Wednesday. The next segment on Hilltopper Sports Weekly Women's Basketball Edition, we'll look around the Mountain East Conference and take a little bit closer look at these games between Shepherd and Fairmont State coming up next week. Welcome back to Hilltopper Sports Weekly Women's Basketball Edition. You're taking a look at the Mountain East Conference standings for women's basketball as of Monday, December 4th. Glenville State 6-1, Charleston 5-1. Both those teams 4-0 in Mountain East Conference play. Wesleyan is 4-2. Notre Dame 6-3. Urbana is 3-2. Those three teams are 3-1 in Mountain East Conference play. Notre Dame's only loss to West Liberty. The Toppers are 3-5, 2-2 in Mountain East Conference play. West Virginia State 2-5, 2-2 in Mountain East Conference play. Then we have Shepherd, Concord, Wheeling, Jesuit all at 1-3 in the Mountain East. Fairmont State at 3-4, but winless in the Mountain East. Virginia Wise 1-6. They are also the only other winless team in the Mountain East Conference. Coach, any surprising teams or where they're at on those standings?
No, I think going into this year, I think there was a lot of unknowns for a lot of teams, and I mentioned this earlier on a previous show with you, Todd. I think that a lot of it is just what kind of buy-in are you going to get from your team early? How are young players going to step up? We know there's some veterans out there, but I think you're just seeing certain teams are having a little bit more success with a consistent buy-in than others. We would have loved to see ourselves kind of in that next bump up and sitting here 3-1, but we didn't handle business on the road like we probably should have. But I think we're in a great spot. I think we have two very dangerous teams coming up, though. That their records are not indicative of who they are.
So Lady Toppers' schedule continues to stay tough early in this season. Toppers right in the thick of things in terms of the Mountain East here early on in the season, so it's going to be fun to watch how things continue on as the season progresses. The current Mountain East Conference Player of the Week hails from Glenville State. It is Paris McLeod. She averaged 25 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 4 assists in 2 wins last week over Shepherd and Fairmont State. Against Fairmont, she was able to get 25 points. She hit 4 3-pointers in that game as well. And then against Shepherd, she had 25 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. So Paris McLeod getting her first Mountain East Conference Player of the Week award for this season. So the Lady Toppers' upcoming game will be against Shepherd down at the Butcher Center, against the Lady Rams. It's always a tough game. They've got some good players, a very good coach as well, so it's going to be tough for the Toppers, but a good matchup.
Yeah, I got a ton of respect for Jenna and Coach Eckleberry and how she runs her program. We've known each other a long time, and she does a great job. They have talent. They have a lot of talent, and they've got some veterans players. They're actually one of the more veteran teams on paper when you look at our league. And for them, they're just dangerous, and you cannot let them get going. You cannot let them get comfortable. And if you do, it can be a really long night for you. So we have a tremendous challenge on the road, and it's a tough place to play as well after a long road trip. But we're looking forward to the opportunity to play against them and try to get another quality win.
Yeah, it is going to be a very long road trip for the Toppers. It's about 4 hours from campus, from West Liberty's campus to Shepherd's campus. And I know coaches don't like to look too far ahead, but for the viewers and the fans' sake, we do. So Fairmont State coming up on Saturday, a big rivalry regardless of sport, regardless of the records for either team. It's always a good game between West Liberty and Fairmont State, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to this game.
Yeah, and for the viewers and everything, we'll talk about it. You know me, I'm more short-term kind of guy. But yeah, it is a great rivalry, and again, tremendous respect for Coach McDonald. He has been ultra successful, and now he's been a veteran, and now he's one of the lone veterans kind of standing in our league now that Coach ULLOM has resigned. But I'm looking forward to the opportunity, hopefully, to bring a team to the table in West Liberty under my leadership that can keep that rivalry growing like Coach ULLOM had it. But tremendous respect for him and the program. They've got a lot of young faces, but a lot of talent, and it should be a really good game.
Fairmont graduating all of their starting 5 from last season, so it's going to be a new starting 5 completely for Fairmont State this year. It's going to be fun to watch. Again, the Toppers take on Shepherd this coming Wednesday. Listen to that broadcast on the West Liberty Sports Network, and then we will have Fairmont State at home at the ASRC at 5:30 on Saturday night. So, Coach, thank you for joining us. Teresa and the students, thank you for helping us out to film this show, and thank you for watching. Until next time, I am Todd ULLOM on Hilltopper Sports Weekly.